What is up, Sooner Nation? Welcome to the Sooner Surge, the nightly 9:30, although it's 10 o'clock tonight, podcast that tells it like it is. Martin Luther King Day, Inauguration Day, National Championship Day. It's been a busy day across the nation, but we're glad to spend the rest of this Monday with you, our viewers. If you're an OG viewer or a new viewer, welcome to the Sooner Surge. This is a podcast that tells it like it is. We're glad you're with us. Ohio State, in my opinion, after watching this game, Jay, I thought Will Howard was really good. Finally, they took a shot because Notre Dame was daring to throw that ball. I couldn't believe they kept running QB draws. Give credit to Marcus Freeman and Riley Leonard for fighting back, making this a game. They're going to get it done. Ohio State Buckeyes are going to be your national champions.
Yeah, and I do think Ohio State got a little too conservative. That was part of the problem. After that first, they went up 31-7. They got a little too conservative, stopped throwing the ball. Notre Dame was not going to get out of man very often, and I think that ended up being a mistake. But they did fight back. But, yeah, it's and Ron, I'm going to say this right now, and I'll say it for the rest of the live show. That's fine. I was dead wrong on this game, and most of y'all who picked Ohio State was right. I don't need to name everybody that did that, but a lot of you did. You were right on. Kudos to you guys. Kudos.
And Jay, it's probably safe to say that the best team won the national championship this year. I think it's safe to say Ohio State's defense was really good. Their offense played great. Will Howard tonight, 4 incompletions. Made some big-time throws. Overall, it was a good national championship game, but the best team did win.
Hey, Will Howard, I'll say this right now, way wrong on him too. I didn't think they could win a national championship with Will Howard as the quarterback. I was dead wrong.
Chip Kelly gets it done today, man.
Chip Kelly.
Now think about this. Chip Kelly goes from being a head coach to now a national champion as a coordinator, and Ryan Day definitely needed it. Okay, I don't know that Ryan Day gets this done without Chip Kelly. And now,
fine. Hey, go ahead.
And now OU needs to try to get Jim Knowles for the same type of thing, Jay.
Yeah, and Chuck wanted me to name. Chuck, you're right. Gregot, you're right. Eric, you're right. Ron, you're right. Dalpos, you're right. Matt, you're right. Do I need to keep going and name everybody in the chat? I can't.
Matt, they're
Jack,
really good.
Right.
Matt, they don't really. Judkins tonight was great, phenomenally. They have 4 or 5 receivers that look, they shut Jeremiah Smith down until the last play. He had 4 catches, 32 yards until the last play, but they have Tate, they have they have all kinds of guys. Now, I will say this, the 2 2-point conversions by Notre Dame, elite play calls. The shovel pass to Love, the face-on reverse pass, great play calls. Riley Leonard made some exceptional throws.
That's right.
Ron,
both of them.
Yeah, Judkins and Henderson. Welcome, everyone. We can't wait. We're going to be opening the phone lines because we do it every night. We'll be glad to hear from each of you, whatever you want to talk about. For Sooner fans, the attention now turns to, if it hasn't already been, how long till Jim Knowles at least speaks, gets on the phone, interviews in person with the Sooners, Jay, with BV. That's the next question.
Well, I don't really understand that statement. Interviews in person. There's not a whole lot to interview if you want him, is there?
No, I don't want to do the demonstration I did last night, but you know what's going to happen.
Yeah,
that's what needs to happen, Jay.
There it is, Greg.
I did last night.
Are we lagging or something? I'm confused.
What do you mean?
I don't know. I'm asking.
Did anyone say we're lagging?
No, I felt like I was talking and then you were just talking, so maybe I'm behind or something.
Yeah, it could be. It's not
or
done.
You could have interrupted. That's possible too.
I do interrupt. It's done when it's done.
I had people saying today, like, well, do you want Ohio State to win or lose? Because will that affect the Knowles? That has nothing to do with Jim Knowles winning or losing, in my opinion, in this game. I think he's got his mind. I think the mind's made up one way or the other. Yeah, he's not interviewing for nothing. Yeah, that's probably it, Greg. I figured that's probably what was happening, Greg God. But,
Hey, real quick. There will be, and listen, I'm using the word interview loosely, Slap. What I mean is there's going to be a conversation. So
yeah, he's coming to OU. Sooner says, Sooner Thrawn says, why you leave 1-1 best wide receiver on 3rd and 12? Well, I agree why. I don't know why, but if you listen to any of the pregame media conference, they were going to play man-to-man a lot. They were not going to go away from it. So,
but here's why you do. Here's why they did it, in my opinion. I think they dared him to throw it because they thought, you never know, maybe it's an overthrow, the nervousness of the situation. But man, you got to be a little tighter than that. But he put it on the dot. It's a great throw by Howard.
Yeah, and I see
Ryan Day is going to get him one.
I see Dow post question here. How many wins do you think Knowles would add? Here's the thing. I've been asked that question a lot. We've been asked it in the Discord. We've had discussions and arguments over in the Discord. I can't put a number on that. Here's the thing. Here's why. I don't think it matters on Knowles. I think they're going to be good either way. I think it's what does Brent Venables do as the head coach see as over the whole program? That tells me how many wins they're going to get. Knowles is going to be good enough. Last year, during the defense was good enough to win games. They lost it. I think it's more of like how many wins will Arbuckle get you? That might be the bigger question.
Okay, but I am going to say he's going to add a win or two because there are games defensively they didn't get a stop near the end of the game, Jay. There are games that, in my opinion, they didn't blitz a whole lot on some games. And Jay, I don't know how much adjustment. I think Jim Knowles is arguably the best in-game adjustments. Tonight, Notre Dame marches right down the field on the Jim Knowles defense, and they make adjustments until the last 2 or 3 drives where they started throwing the ball, which is outside of the character of Notre Dame. But even on some of those plays, penalties, that they are very handsy on the wide receivers, Jay.
Yeah. What's up, Aaron? Sad Porter Moser fan, Stan says, is Knowles coaching tight ends, O-line? No. Yeah, we know that. I think he loved the sarcasm there. And he's right in one thing. Tight ends and O-line, there will be you want to know how many more wins they get next year? If you could tell me right now how good the tight ends and O-line will be, then I could pick a number for you because I think that's where it's going to start next year. But I think specifically O-line more than tight ends.
Hey, KB, it isn't an argument. Ohio State has unbelievable talent, but I'll say this. OU's defensive talent is pretty good. It's not just average talent across the board. It's just not.
Yeah,
breathe, Chuck. Breathe. I'm calm, bro.
Jeremy. Breathe.
I'm calm. I hear something on your end, Jay.
Yeah, it's something in my garage.
Daniel, that has been the issue. Really on both sides. The adjustments haven't been there. And you also have to think about this. If BV is the head coach, how much is he talking about adjustments? Or if he is, I mean, just to me, you got to have a guy in there you can trust to make the correct adjustments to be able to. You notice he went from 4 down linemen to 3 a couple series. His blitz calls are great. He had a couple. I mean, look, there's no reason to even break down what Jim Knowles is doing. Jim Knowles is one of the best. That's like critiquing the best in anything. You just don't do it.
I will say something about that Ohio State defense. Those defensive backs grab a lot. I mean, they
play physical, Jay. They play bump on you too.
Yeah, they grab a lot. Greg Gutz says D-line only position I would take OU over Ohio State on defense next year, and that might be true. I mean,
hey Matt, Matt, you really didn't have any credibility, but you lose it. You lose more of it when you speak to say defense top 130. That is horrific.
Well, there's also I also saw some comments that said Ryan Day is mid. I don't care who you are. If you have a national championship ring, I'm not calling you mid. Can't do it.
Jay, he should have a couple. Now, he learned his lesson.
I don't care. He's got one. I'm not calling a guy with a national championship a mid coach. He's got one of these on. Okay. The field goal is good. Hey, you know what else is really good? Vegas. Vegas is pretty good, aren't they?
The line was 8.5.
8.5. What's it at right now?
They're going to 11. It would have been 8 if the guy makes the field goal, which was an atrocious call. You go for that.
Yeah, I'm with you, Daniel. I think the defense is really talented. I will say, though, Daniel, here's the thing. Here's the other thing. The main thing, in my opinion, is the defensive backs, and specifically cornerbacks. I don't know yet who it's going to be next year, but I do think out of the defense, that's probably right now my biggest concern.
I agree.
Who's going to play those 2 corner spots for Oklahoma?
Hey, and Ron and Matt, OU's defense last year was 29th. Now, what was their pass defense? I would have to look, but OU's not dropping 100 spots on defense. I mean, are you kidding? Are you kidding? Like, what would I seriously want to know? What would make you think that? What's happened that would make you think they're going to drop 100 spots? Like, that's just bad.
Yeah, they're not doing that. I mean, not at all. 29 isn't bad with our schedule. I think, or is that talking about defense or what?
Yes,
I'm not sure what that's talking
defense.
about, Ian.
Yeah,
but I still don't like this national championship game being played on Monday night. It just felt it. I know it wasn't that long ago when they played the last round, but it seems like it was a long time, doesn't it?
Yes.
Why does it seem like it was such a long time? I don't know. I mean,
Hey,
it wasn't that long.
Hey, Ron, I didn't read it wrong. Matt said OU's defense will be lucky to be top 130 next year. I didn't read it wrong.
A fan stop. Defense was on the field all the time. Yeah, that's true. And that affects things. We talked about that last year. It does have an effect. It's got to be an all-around team effort. Offense, defense, special teams. To have the defense be a really, really elite defense, you can't be on the field the whole time. And by the way, FanStop, check them out. www.thefanstop.com. Get on there, use code SURGE to get 10% off your first 3 months. Look at this jacket. That's from FanStop. Hoodie, FanStop. Check them out. Great officially licensed merchandise. And it's cold out here today, Jerm. Golly, it's cold. I got to do something, man. It's freezing. Let's see. One day. It was a lot today, wasn't it, Joe? My goodness. By the way, I got to say this. I don't really speak on this. What the heck? Where are you going with this? Hang on. I don't really speak on this very often. Okay, but I got to speak on something. The national anthem tonight was elite. I don't know if y'all heard it. I don't always talk about the national anthem, but it was elite. You can't beat, I think, there's top 2, Whitney Houston, Lady Gaga. Both those were awesome, but this was a really good one by Coco Jones. I gotta say. What's up with the glasses, dude? First off, you look bad without glasses. You look worse with glasses, though.
I look just like you since we're twins. Ron, is this better?
You're a little different.
Is this better, Ron? I've got I can read better, I guess. These are not my school specs. I actually don't wear glasses, but hey,
Joe, I would agree with that.
It's like national treasure. Get the spectacles out. Yep, looks like Jim Knowles gonna has mutual interest. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, Chris Stapleton would like to have a word. You guys are correct. Joe, Michael, you're right on that one. But I'm gonna go ahead and drop a trivia.
Oh, do it now. Let's go.
Ready? Here we go. Coco Jones, who's her boyfriend?
That's the trivia tonight?
That's the trivia. Let's see if anybody knows it. And I hope I'm right with this. I hope I'm right. I might be wrong, but I hope I'm right.
It's not getting crazy with me tonight. Man, Chuck, coming at me lately.
Looks like
bro.
Knowles staying at the OSU. Coco Jones, she sang the national. There it is, right there. Austin Hill, Donovan Mitchell,
who had a great game today.
Good job,
33.
Austin. Way to go. You get the point for the night, Hunter. Tomorrow night, let's update the standings for everybody so they know where they stand for the month. You may may win some prizes at the end of the month.
Hey, 33 points for Donovan Mitchell today. Hey, Mez, good job. You're also one that was right. Good job. Hey,
right,
to say they're pretenders is bad, though. They're not. They're in the national championship game.
Mess. Good pick. You're right. I was wrong. Well, let me say it again. Jason, was dead wrong.
They're not pretenders. They're not pretenders, Jay. They're not pretenders.
confirmed to my Google sources. Rhino says looks like Knowles staying at OSU. Wait, what happened? Did we miss something? Did he just say something? He must have said something.
I don't know, Jay. I'm sitting right here on a video with you.
I don't know. I don't know. Rhino says looks like Knowles staying at the OSU. So we'll see. Like I said yesterday, like I said the day before, what he said before this game meant nothing. I think you wait till after the game and see what happens, and we'll see.
He didn't say anything.
Now,
Rhino is Brandon Hall's brother, claims to be Brandon Hall's brother. So,
he's joking, Rhino. Hey, here's another one right here. Mark, you're correct. You were right. Ohio State, good pick. Good pick. I was dead wrong. I'm going to have to do this a lot tonight. I'm pretty sure. I'm going to do this a lot.
Yeah, you are. Hey, Mez, that's the thing actually that's killed Ohio State in a couple of their playoff games. They get way too conservative. They did it tonight and almost cost them again, but they finally took the deep shot.
Hey, I got a question. This is interesting to me. If you watched any of the last few games with Ohio State, Jerem, we know a big Ohio State fan. He told us the Michigan game that Ryan Day kind of got involved with the offense. They were real conservative. If you watch him on the sideline, he's staring at that play sheet like, I know he's not calling him, but he's got I think he might have a lot of input sometimes in there.
It's probably been difficult for him to give the control.
Yeah, maybe so. I mean, I don't know. Jerem, how you feeling? How you feeling, man? Chuck want to know how you feeling.
Dude, I'm feeling great. It's a little snow on the ground here, Chuck. Feeling good, bud. Feeling great. Hey, I'll say
it's not a money thing for me. Not a money thing.
I've already said the number that OU has to pay to get him. And Hunter laughed at me when I said it. I think that's what it takes. $3 million.
$3 million?
Yeah. Well, I think it'll take 3 to get him.
2.2.
I think they're paying it. I think they're paying it, Jay.
We'll find out. Hey, here's the good news. It's going to be sooner rather than later. We'll find out one way or the other.
Yeah, $3 million.
Hey, Sergeant Lincoln says this game just tells us we need more talent than Kennesaw State starters. You're right, and I'll say this, Sergeant. I wouldn't bet on any of the Kennesaw State guys starting this year for OU. I would be shocked. I would hope not, but now maybe they are. I don't know. Hit the like.
Daniel says, OU can afford any coach in the country, and I do have my CDL Mez. I don't think I'll be picking him up in a bus.
Wouldn't that be elite, though? Sooner Surge bus, put it on the side, just pull up.
According to Rhino, who's, I believe, the brother of Brandon Hall, maybe. Is that correct, Rhino? Jim Knowles is going to announce his intentions Wednesday, $3 million with a 3-year contract, from Rhino's understanding. We'll see if Rhino's correct. Rhino's putting some fact stats out there, or at least some stats,
and
at least
John,
some numbers.
Yeah, John. That cannot happen by BV.
If they won't happen.
There can't be any micromanaging.
No.
There can be involvement in the defense without micromanaging. I've had plenty of bosses that are involved that don't micromanage, and I love it. I've had bosses that micromanage. I don't like it too well. So you can be very involved without micromanaging.
And I know there's been talk about the recruiting deal. Here's the deal. Brandon Hall, Todd Bates, Miguel Chavis, BV, Jay Valai will be interesting to see if he stays on. But they've got recruiters. They got recruiters, Ian. They've got recruiters. His job will be to call the defense, implement and call the defense. That'll be his job.
Yeah, this would be the interesting thing too. Is let me clarify. If you got Jim Knowles, does anybody follow him?
Player wise?
Yeah.
I mean, if I had to choose a position group, I'd want a secondary guy.
But not number one. He held a lot, didn't he? People say no, probably not,
Right.
and I would kind of agree with that. I mean, they just
BB
want to
probably wouldn't allow it.
Caleb Downs. Can you imagine how much you'd have to pay to get Caleb Downs? How much do you think he's getting next year?
Daniel thinks players and a coach or two. We know it won't be Larry Johnson. The only coach that the thing is about coaching.
Who do you lose though if he brings a coach in? Who do you lose?
Right. There's no defensive spot open. It would have to be. I know what everyone would say would be Jay Valai.
But Jay Valai would have to. Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's true. That would be the.
But if that's really happening too, that would have to be kind of in the, I guess, the process right now.
Yeah, Jeremiah Smith. Yeah. Man, they're going to have to pay a lot of money for that roster again next year because they got a lot of guys that are coming back. I mean, okay, Ohio State, don't you think they go – do you think they get a transfer portal quarterback? Or do you think they're going to just roll with what they got?
According to Ohio State fan, Jay, that we know, they really like what they got, but I can see them definitely going and getting that.
Rhino, appreciate it. Yeah, hit the thumbs up. Hey, I'll say this. We do this show every night, podcast, try to tell it like it is. Likes really help. The more you like, the more it shows up at places. So we do appreciate
it. Hey, and Rhino26, email. Look, I was trying to get a hold of you one other time. You've been so supportive of our channel. You've dropped big supers for us. And all we can ever do is say thanks on here. If you love for you to email us at SoonerSurgePod@gmail.com, SoonerSurgePod@gmail.com. We really appreciate you, man. You've been a big supporter of our channel.
Yeah, he has, big time. Ian says yours. Didn't they get Sayin out of the portal last year? I'm not sure who you're talking about there. I'd have to.
Ohio State. Hey, Chuck. Here, I'm going to change your sentence, Chuck.
It doesn't.
It wouldn't be Chuck. BV wouldn't be letting his defense coach go.
It's no different, Germ, than Arbuckle not being able to bring anybody.
Can I? You cannot compare Ben Arbuckle to Jim Knowles. Come on, Jay.
I get it.
Off, what you're saying, Jay, is if he doesn't look, BV wouldn't be letting his defensive coaches go. Jim Knowles would be saying, "Hey, by the way, BV, I'm bringing this guy. That other guy's going." Jim Knowles would be making that decision, not BV. Let's guys, we can't say, well, BV needs to give him total control and then act like BV is going to be the one making the decisions on defense. Come on, guys. That's talking out both sides of our mouths.
Yeah, Jim Knowles got to be the one making. I mean, he's one of the best.
Talking this way and this way.
And people are saying he didn't take anybody to Ohio State. I've heard this too, Purple. I've heard this a lot about. I've heard that, but it's hearsay until I hear it from a horse's mouth.
I've got a source that says that has been cleared up, dude. The Larry Johnson stuff has been. They fixed that over. They mulled that over.
Great question here by Tone Load. Who are you taking, Tony Casillas or Tommy Harris? Let me say this. The recency bias, everybody will say Tommy Harris. But, man, Tony Casillas had a great career, not only in college, but NFL. That's a tough one. I love Tommy Harris. I would say because I watched him more when I was younger, I would probably say that. But Tony Casillas, you can't argue with what he did. So I don't know. I mean, I think you got recency bias. People would say Tommy Harris. But Casillas was just a stud. I mean, they both were. So,
hey, Chuck, I 100% agree with you. The keeping a couple of those offensive coaches makes zero sense. Like, I can put my glasses on. It still doesn't make sense. I can read it closer. I can get magical spectacles. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense why he's keeping Joe John Finley. Specifically, doesn't make sense.
But no clue. Maybe Wednesday or Thursday, Corey. Mark says Larry Johnson on the field, Knowles upstairs. Correct.
But that's correct. Like OU. Todd Bates is on the field.
Yeah, so's Chavis. Yeah, I get it.
I don't know if it's as early as tomorrow, guys. I've been saying Wednesday, Thursday.
Hey, let me ask you this right now. Right now, I know it's way early, But who would you pick to win the championship next year?
It's way too early, but depends on how good the Georgia quarterback can be. I'm trying to think. I mean, to me, you've got to have really good quarterback play.
You know who I'm kind of high on?
Who's that? LSU.
LSU.
Saints.
Nussmeier.
LSU.
I'm hot LSU. What?
Yeah, Nussmeier. LSU. I am
Texas. Texas is an easy bet with Arch Manning, but they lost. They did lose a lot. They're going to have some new guys playing, but yes, the odds are already out. KB says. I wonder who. I haven't seen who the favorite is, but
hey,
Ohio State's got to be.
What question did I ask?
What do you mean?
Sergeant said, "Why you asked that question, Jeremy?" That was Jason. That one over there is Jason. I'm Jeremy.
What did it? Because I asked who's going to win it all next. Because I asked who's going to win all. Because I asked who's going to win it all next year. Why? Why do you keep what? Why? Because I don't understand. It's just a.
I didn't ask a question, Jay. I didn't ask a question.
I know you didn't. Never said you did.
So I think he meant you. He meant you. Why'd you ask that?
I said why I asked it. I just was wanting to get people's opinion.
Yeah, I agree. He's gone if they don't make playoffs next year, Brian Kelly. Hey, Hunter, I think it's time to open the phone lines. We're going to open the phone lines. You need to check out the Fan Stop at thefanstop.com. They got a great Shirt of the Month club. You'll want to join it. Hey, if you're an Ohio State fan on here, they have a Shirt of the Month club as well. Sign up for their Shirt of the Month club. You can still use our code, SURGE, even though you're a Buckeye fan, and get 10% off your first 3 months. I'll say this as well. I said Wednesday, but listen, in the post game tonight, that will be asked of Jim Knowles. My guess is his answer is going to be, look, I'm celebrating with the guys tonight. Like, I'm not talking.
No chance of answering. No chance. So hard to bet against the OSU next year as well. I mean, I would agree. They're going to be. I mean, it's going to be hard to bet against them. Sergeant says, Jay, the only thing that's important is OU has a great chance to be defending. So, hey, Sarge, hey, let me say this.
Wrong.
Ohio State, they don't promote a soul mission type thing, but they had they talked about it a lot this year at Ohio State. So, but you're right about this. Until OU starts winning games and winning bowl games and get in the playoff, that will be the narrative. That will be what people say. They'll say that.
Wow, Rhino, are you kidding me, man? Rhino, please email us. I'd love to. I got something for you that I'd love to send, but email us at SoonerSurgePod@gmail.com. Massive thank you. I don't know what else to say, Rhino. We love that you're on here. We love your support of our channel. Thanks so much for the super. He says, Ben and Jim Knowles, BV CEO, period. Dropping it right there.
What's that George Strait song? Write this down.
Baby, write this down.
There it is.
Take a little. Rhino's dropping it right there. Maybe Rhino's Jim Knowles. He just exited the game. He went into his. Hey, big time thanks, Rhino. Email us, please. SoonerSurgePod@gmail.com.
Daniel, where this is coming from, and it's because OU's not winning. People say the soul mission is more important than everything else at OU. That's what people think BV thinks the most important. And
it's a bad take.
It's not true. It's not the most important. It's important to BV, yes. But I guarantee you BV wants to win more than anybody. So that's all the shade is people think it's that OU thinks that's more important than everything else. More important than recruiting and NIL. It's a part of it, guys. It's a part of it. It's what it is. Okay? It's a part of it. Go win games. Nobody will talk about it anymore.
Jay, it's funny. I don't get to tie that man down stuff. Like
I don't know.
Hey,
and
you're kind of making me mad, Chuck.
Rhino, thanks so much. Appreciate it. You're getting frustrated, Jerm.
Yeah, I thought you were done talking. Sorry. You're kind of making me mad with that comment, though. But hey, about tying me down. But listen, Jay, you said it perfectly.
Michael said it perfectly.
And people are going to take shots at everything that they can take shots at. That's just the way it is. That's the way all sports are.
Hey, Mess said $100 for Germs and diesel money to go pick up Knowles in the morning.
My 07 Odyssey won't make it to Ohio. I promise you.
You should do it. We should take that 07 Odyssey on a road trip next year. German a diesel. Get it. Make it happen.
Hey, Hunter, I have a CDL. Do you? Okay, thanks.
Hey, I'll say this. I had to try to get my CDL once. I couldn't pass, dude. It's hard. This is hard.
I got some good stories about testing on the CDL. Hey, Sergeant. Yeah, I did see OU was involved in doing some very generous charity work, and never will I say that's so bad of BV. Why, like, Sergeant, I have a problem with, and I've been very vocal on it. I have a problem with people who are just bashing the soul mission, and when OU talks about faith and all that, that has no bearing on what happens on Saturdays. It just doesn't. You may think that, but in my opinion, it has nothing to do with football games on Saturday.
They got to start winning games, period, man. Hey,
yes.
Sooner WX, is any more news on the Cowboys coach? No, and here, don't even get me started on the Cowboys. I could do a whole show on that, but you have the Bears pretty much locking up Ben Johnson after 24 hours after they lose. The Lions lose, and you got Dallas still figuring it out. It'll probably be Kellen Moore. I'm not happy. They need to go get Dion, in my opinion, or somebody that's going to move the needle a little bit.
Yeah,
just my
Tone Loc. A lot of people say they overwork the coaches, so maybe it's good that they're out there doing charity work. KB says, I think he wants to win, but believe he lets other things interfere.
Let me say
this. Relinquishing power has been a weakness.
Let me say this.
Right?
Go ahead. Go ahead.
That's you interrupting, Jay.
Go ahead, bro. Go ahead. My thing was behind. Go.
Relinquishing power has been a weakness, I would say. And not only that, to me, the fact that he hasn't been able to relinquish power is evident in the hires he's made. Because if he could relinquish power, he would hire guys who he knows he wouldn't have to be involved with, maybe. But he really wants to be in control. Now, I do think he's looked in a mirror and he realizes that. He's heard from people outside saying it. Those that are close to him, maybe even. Go ahead, Jay.
Well, I was kind of going to allude to what you said at the end. Turn your camera off. That's fine. What I was going to allude to at the end was,
Red Bull.
Hey, by the way, is that the winter version?
No.
I've heard the winter one's really good. So BV, after 3 years, 2 6 and 7 seasons, I think he would have to look in the mirror and say, what can I do better now? Next year, if they hire Knowles, that's a great move. They got Arbuckle, that's a great move. Now, okay, what else can I look at with the program to see what can we do better? I think anybody in any job they have looks in the mirror, and they even have other people come in and look, say, you could do this better. You could, and that's what you got to do. You got to get better next year, and you got to win games. Okay, that's all there's to it. If that's your character, it's usually your character.
But hey, what it takes, KB, sometimes it takes someone else coming in saying, "Hey, you've got to do it." And by the way, and maybe they will have to step back a little on how they practice. I don't know. I did see Jackson posted from Ian Rapport that Al Golden's going to be the Bengals, going to the Bengals possibly, which means Penn State's DC
gone,
Notre Dame's DC, and now possibly Ohio State's DC, all on the move, which would be crazy.
Well, the game's different, man. It's just different than it used to be. You're going to have coaches, people leave all the time. Miguel says, BV, here it is. I think it depends, Miguel, on how many games. If they win 7 games, he'll probably get another year. I mean, but here's the thing. I don't want 7 wins. I want to make a playoff as an OU fan. That's what I want to do. I want to make a playoff, see what happens.
Hey, Jay, Ron, if BV's at the U-Haul place, it's to help Jim Knowles move and nothing else. And Rhino's right. The recruiting, if there's one area where you would say BV's done a pretty good job, it's recruiting. Developing is, to me, is the issue. And Daniel says, and Daniel played under Bob Stoops. Daniel knows, and Daniel was on the team. He said it's not good if that's true, and that's what he's heard as well. They never practiced like that with Coach Stoops. It was full go during scrimmages, but during the week, you only need to go full pads once, and that's Tuesday. And
here's the thing, though. I think Brent Venables coming to OU. I mean, the word that everybody used for OU before Brent Venables got there was soft. Yeah, and I think he had to try to make a culture change because they were. I mean, the defense was very soft. Tackling was soft. So I don't really at first. I don't have a problem with that. I think they needed it, but now maybe it's time to be like, okay,
you got to pull back.
Maybe you pull back. I don't know. I'm not a coach. I'm a fan. So.
Yeah.
Hey, phone lines are open. Call in. If you'd like to talk to us, call in. Phone lines are open. Hunter, can you pin that if you haven't already pinned it for the people in the chat?
Hey, and I agree. Speed D, you could say softened them a little, but
it is pinned. I got a question. Right now, is the Big Ten the best conference in college football? They've got back-to-back national championships.
Jay, I mean, it's hard to argue that it's not. Now, are they the deepest? No. Are they? I mean, you can't argue that they're not the best. They've both done it.
Hey, and we got a trivia that Jackson dropped in here. Here it is. Ohio State's the second team in FBS history with the 3,000-yard passer, two 1,000-yard receivers, and two 1,000-yard rushers. Wow, that's a mouthful. That is a lot on offense. Who was the first team?
Well, okay, Jay, LSU had Joe Burrow. They had
they didn't have two 1,000-yard rushers.
I'm trying to think. I think they only had Clyde Hilaire that year.
What about OU with CeeDee Lamb? They had Jalen Hurts. He rushed for 1,000 yards, and he threw probably.
He didn't throw for 3,000, did he? That's a good guess, Jay.
And then two. Did they have two receivers though that year? That's what I'm trying to think.
918. They said 918 got it. What was it?
What was the end? Was it Tulsa? Somebody said Tulsa.
Wow.
Tulsa?
Gus Farrat. You have to go back to Gus
Tulsa. Hey, you know that song? Living on Tulsa time.
Oh, it was 2016 team. That was not Gus Farrat then, was it? No. Jackson said, yes. 2016 was not Gus Farrat.
Gus Farrat was like 2002 or something.
2000.
Gus Farrat's old.
Who was the quarterback?
Do you know what he's most known for, Gus Farrat?
What's that?
Do you know what he's most known for?
Putting his helmet into the wall.
Yeah, correct. That was Dane Evans' year.
Dane Evans is coaching now.
Yeah, correct.
Philip Montgomery. That's right. Phone lines are open. Would love to hear from you. Call in. Give us your take on the Natty tonight, national championship game, or the Jim Knowles DC situation, or whatever it is you want to talk about. We're here for it. Love talking with everyone that's on here in the chat. Keep it rolling.
That's right.
Oregon's
Big Ten now. I mean, think about it. Big Ten's pretty solid, man. I still don't think they're deep. But man, you can't argue 2 national championships in a row. You got to give it to him.
Miguel is right.
Being gone will leave a bigger hole in the defense than we think. I think specifically at first, until maybe you feel like somebody's established, but just leadership wise too, it's a lot. It's a lot to replace, man.
I think Kobe can move into a leadership role. Kobe's play on the field, to me, leaves a little to be desired. It's not comparable to Danny Stutzman yet. It's just not. Can't compare the two.
Yeah.
Hit the like, as Rhino says. Hit the like. It helps our algorithm. We appreciate you very much.
Big Ten fans obsessed with the SEC. But I think SEC's kind of brought that on. Don't you think? I mean, they've kind of brought that on.
I'm going to say something, too, about the SEC. I think the SEC does beat each other up a little bit. And when they get in these playoffs, I think there's more. They're fresh more out of the Big Ten. That's what I would say.
But you know what's wild, and then we'll get to Daniel. What's wild is Ohio State had the toughest path to win the championship.
And they won it.
Yeah.
That's correct. What's up, Daniel?
Kudos. Yeah.
What's up? I just thought I'd call since no one was calling in, and but the Natty, I picked Notre Dame. I thought they had a chance there at the beginning, but just Ohio State's adjustments were a lot better, and that talent started to show. So really wasn't surprised. Kind of wanted Notre Dame win since they haven't won since '88, but it was a good fight. I thought they looked good though. Still,
they came. They at least made a comeback. But man, if you're going to play man to man on Ohio State, you don't have much of a chance.
Right.
I think unless you're getting really good pressure, which they weren't at first. It's kind of hard. Will Howard's pretty accurate. I mean,
and I think this is the first. I don't know. I don't know if Ohio State's talent was that far superior, but I just felt like I didn't see that bullying that I saw Notre Dame displayed against Georgia. Like I didn't see them go out there and assert their. Maybe they just had a better team than Georgia, but just me watching the game, they bullied Georgia. I mean, that's just what I saw. They bullied them.
Yeah, and the run game, they could not get the run game going tonight at all.
No,
nothing.
Hey, Daniel, I got to ask because you brought it up. When the comment about OU being so physical in practice,
right?
Now Smitty was there when you were there, so
yeah.
I mean. So there is that's not a Schmitty thing though. That's the head coach.
No,
right?
no, that's not. And I actually heard this a couple of months ago. I forgot who told me. Was it Caleb? It might have been Caleb who told me. I can't remember. Someone told me about that, and I was like, that's a bit extreme. That's a bit much. If they're going full pads twice a week and they're going full go, that's extreme. So. When I was there, full pads were Tuesday, and then we would run inside or a team run. Maybe it'd be full go, but you would watch the knees, watch the legs, watch the different things like that. Obviously, you can never hit the quarterback, different things like that. But majority of the time, the full go was during winter workouts when we would start spring. Obviously during fall camp, we have our scrimmages and coaches come in. This is full go. We're going full speed to it. So we're out there tackling, we're bumping up together, and then obviously they blow the whistle. So, and that's what I kept saying about the Smitty situation. With Smitty, you're going to get injuries, you're going to get sore backs and everything like that. But that's not a common thing to Smitty to be the person that you're injured. So when all the players were injured, on top of Smitty's intense workouts. Then I heard, how they were practicing. Then it started to come to me. That's probably why we have all our injuries. That's too much. I do think we were soft when Riley was here. The stuff I heard Benny was doing, all this calisthenics and touching your toes and all this other bull crap I was hearing. Like they said, Smitty came in and got a trash can and threw all that bull crap away that he had. So we got away from that, but we can't shift from one end of the totem pole to the other. Like it has to be a good balance.
That's a good point. So that's good stuff, Daniel. Appreciate the insight on that, man. I mean, that's good to hear from you because I think a lot of people had wondered that, but Brent Venables is a tough coach. I mean, that's but like you said, you can't go that far to that end of the spectrum if that's what's happening. You got to have a mid-range, and you know what? Year 4, I mean, he's learning on the job. Whether people are happy with that or not, he's learning to be a head coach.
Right.
So,
and the one thing I'll say too, and then I can get off here, is about BV when I say the soft stuff. And I've talked about this with my wife and Strike and other people. When I say the soft thing about it bugs me in no nature. I understand you're trying to be moral and I don't care that you left Clemson and you don't want to take their players. Like I've talked about with my wife and other people, Sarkisian doesn't care that he coached at Alabama. Other coaches don't care that they coached here. If a player from that school wants to come, he takes them to better their team. Like, BB, you can't worry about that. You're 0-3 in bowl games. I think I heard somewhere you're like, he's like 2-9 in one-score games. Yeah. I mean, all these records, and what you're worried about is what players are trying to come over from Clemson. I don't want to hear all that crap. Like, if you want to win, you need to win. So that's what I mean about the soft side on that part. Now, in terms of him on the field and who he is, any players from Clemson to older players before me can tell you, in terms of that coaching, he's not soft, especially as a DC. BV does not play that. Like, he's intense when it comes to that. But the other stuff, like outside of being on the field, like, I don't care if Dexter Lawrence is still at Clemson and you come here. I don't want to hear no crap about us not getting. I would be ticked off if you came here and a player like Dexter Lawrence or Christian Wilkins want to come and you don't take them in, they're begging you, and you don't do it just for some moral reasons. Like, I'm not trying to hear that. So, that's my spiel on the soft crap.
Yeah. Hey, thanks, Daniel. That's awesome stuff.
You're welcome.
I know we got Bobby on the line, but Daniel, that's exactly right, because loyalty to the fault was a little bit of Bob Stoops' weakness, and it seems to be that is a weakness for BV.
Yep, so, correct.
Hey, thanks, Daniel. Appreciate it, man. Have a good night. Let's get to Bobby. Bobby, you're on the line.
There was a poll that came out, like an early poll, which I know it's crazy, but it had us like at number 18, I believe it was. I forget what it was. But the thing about it is, with all this NIL going on in the transfer portal, how could you? You think it's going to be for, especially? I mean, I know we're historically a blue chip program, but maybe we're not in the upper tier right now. Is it going to be almost impossible to tell how good we are going to be from year to year? Like next year, a mystery. How do you think about that?
Here's what I would say: as long as you're doing well in high school recruiting, you can say that you're going to be at a certain level. But you're also going to have to get guys out of the portal. But I don't think it's going to be like basketball. If you look at basketball right now, you're basically getting whole new rosters every year. A lot of these teams. Right. It's not that. If you're recruiting good high school and then using NIL to keep those players, I think you can sustain it. You got to have great high school recruiting, though. But then you got to fill it with the portal to keep staying on top of things.
Yeah, and one more thing I was going to ask. I know they were talking about the injuries last year, about Smitty being tough or whatever. But the thing about it, it was like really just concentrated on the wide receivers, basically. So you really can't really put that on strength and conditioning, can you? Or
no, and I think that's what Daniel was saying is like if you're going real hard in practice, and let's face facts, the defense was the strongest part of Oklahoma's team last year. If they're just dishing it out like crazy in practice, and you're playing ones-on-ones and they're going full go pads, I mean, the chance of getting injured a little more, I would think.
Yeah.
But who knows?
Who knows? All right, guys, y'all have a good night.
Thanks, Bobby.
Thanks, Bobby.
Jay, a lot of people use this analogy of, hey, the cupboards were bare when Riley left. I don't really want to hear all that because they lost a couple guys, but they weren't bare. Now, here's what I'll say. What you guys just talked about, can you be in contention every year? The only way to be in contention every year, in my opinion, is to have the core group always there and fill in with the extra ingredients that's gonna give you the win. It's kind of like cooking. You got to have the necessary. The cupboards can't be bare. You got to always have the sugar on hand, the flour on hand, the oil on hand, all the necessities, and then you bring in the thing that's going to get you the W. Okay, whether it's the decorative plate in the cooking, whatever it is, that's what turns it over. To me, that's been the issue, Jay. They haven't had those pieces.
Is this the Food Network? To be honest with you, I had to check something on my phone just now. To be honest with you, all I heard was you got to have the oil ready. I was like, where's he going with this? And then I heard the flour and all that. It's just like, wow, okay. I don't really know what you just spewed out, but maybe I had a point to it.
Would you like me to say it again?
I'd rather you not.
You got to have the core stuff and then add in the secret ingredients that's going to get the job done and make it the best that it can be. Oh, you didn't have that this year, Jay. They lost on the secret ingredients. They went and got guys that were not going to be game changers in the portal.
Yeah, they didn't hit in the portal. I mean, specifically a few positions, but
if you want to do a food comparison, they got some out of date stuff, dude.
And I agree with Rhino on this. Hey, I agree with Rhino on this. Competitiveness is what makes you great. And you know what? The fact of the matter and the reality is this. Some people will love the competitiveness and some people will go elsewhere because they don't want to compete. That's just the nature of, I think, college sports these days. Some people don't want it. Some people do. I think the ones that want it down the road, 5-6 years, are better off for the most part.
Correct.
I mean, I think that's a good point, Rhino.
Yeah, meat and potatoes. And this year, actually, I totally disagree with you. I totally disagree with this comment. If you want to say on offense, okay, I do think Satania and Javonte Gibson are going to be good players. But on Marvin Jones Jr. and Kendall Daniels,
I think he's talking tight end specifically.
Yeah,
Probably.
maybe Kennett can be that guy.
Maybe O-line. Maybe O-line. Hey, we got Chester. Boomer Sooner for life, Chester. What's going on?
Hey, how's everybody?
All right, man. You?
Hope all's good with you, man. I hope all's good with you.
Yeah. I just want to say Boomer Sooner for life. Just want to say y'all are the greatest of all time. And I hope nobody in the Surge family has to move anytime soon. I forgot how god-awful stressful and expensive that is.
Oh, wow. Did you move?
Is it a long
Yeah.
move? A long move?
No, it was a short move, but my goodness. Don't get a wife that collects junk.
Hey, let me ask you this. Had it been a while since you moved?
It's only been 3 years.
Oh,
But
yeah,
last time was simpler because I was moving it from a storage unit rather than an apartment or a home.
Are you in the new place now? Are you in the new place?
Oh yeah. Much
Good.
happier.
Nice.
All right. That's good to hear, man.
I was checking to see if the Wi-Fi is working. Y'all have fun.
It's working. Sounds
right,
good,
man.
Chester.
Chuck Rhino's asking for the email. Sooner Surge Pod Hunter. Drop it in there at gmail.com. Drop it in there, Hunter.
And Chester, great to hear from you. Glad you're getting settled in the new place.
Chuck wants me to say the word competitive again. Competitive.
Blake says O-line will be better. No, I'm going to change it, Blake. O-line could be better. Receiver core should be better because the receiver core can't be worse than it was last year. So that should be better. And the quarterback room will be better. So here's what I got. O-line could be better. Receiver core should be better. Quarterback will be better. You like that, Jay?
And then tight end fully dependent on Mitchell? Probably so. And I think Helms too. I think Helms. We'll see. I'm going to get to KB. KB's dead right with this. Recruit, develop, win, retain. Can we put that on a T-shirt for the Surgeaholics? Maybe that should be the Surgeaholics T-shirt. Recruit, develop, win, retain. That's good stuff, KB.
Man, hey, for us, man, to me, I think the Surgeaholics are the greatest group of viewers out there. I think smart, backup stuff. I love it. I love the support.
Passionate's the best word for it. Passionate
fan base right here. I love it. Yeah, I think EPL is going to be nasty too, Daniel. I just hope he has a chance to be nasty. Did you see OU talking with the 2026 stud O-lineman?
Did you see how big he was compared to Beatembo?
Oh, massive.
My gosh, he was tall. I don't know how tall that kid was, but he's a big old guy.
Hunter will probably drop it in here.
Yeah, let's run that back, Nathan. Let's do it. If softball doesn't win a national championship again, is Josie on the hot seat? Yeah. Hey, here's the thing. We all know the two sports that make the money are basketball and football. OU's got to start doing well in those sports. I don't think that's rocket science. But you know what? As long as Patty's there, they're probably going to win championships because that's what she does. Okay. And you want to talk about something that's recruit, develop, win, retain? Go talk to Patty Gasso and the OU softball team about that. That guy's 6'7", by the way, like this.
I'm surprised Melo's not on here right now celebrating, but I'm sure he's watching the post game. But yeah, if Jim Knowles makes it here, I'll be ready for that 1K super chat. I'll be excited for that. Rhino has sent the email. Appreciate it.
Yeah, we should have got Melo's.
As soon as this live's over, I'll reach out to you, Rhino. Thanks.
And listen, Blake says, I just think right now our only responsibility as fans is to have hope. I have hope that the O-line will be solid, receivers will get the job done, and our quarterback will be elite. I also have a hope X-Rod plays more. That's right. And you know what? We can all have hope. Now, we have to wait and see if that hope's going to come to reality. But yeah, everybody can have hope for that. But I'm hopeful. I'm hopefully optimistic next year. But you know what? I think Caden McFarland last night on the show, if you haven't watched it, go back and watch the segment we had him on. I think he said it dead right. I would not count on BV to get there, but I also would not rule him out to like for 3 years down the road to be really good. You're kind of at a wait and see. Let's see what happens.
And here's what I would say about the hope stuff. The things that I have, Greg's here. There's no news yet, guys. Don't worry. Greg will let us know. He's told us. We're still on baby watch. Hey, Jay, the things that I have hope in, to me, I know that the promises are true. I know that it's going to come to fruition. That's why you have hope in it. Okay? If someone said Bob Stoops is going to be at OU, when people hear the name Bob Stoops, they think, okay, I can have hope in that. But how do you have hope in something that hasn't proven itself yet? That's the hard part.
You can still have hope.
I said that's the hard part.
Yeah.
That's where I think some Sooner fans are, is how are we going to hope in something that hasn't given us anything yet?
Is that not the term faith? A little different term. Do you have faith that that's going to happen? Or are you hopeful?
I think they're different.
I agree. That's what I'm saying.
Different. You can have faith in BB. You can have faith that he's going to get the job done. And I'm not sure about the hope issue of it because it hasn't happened yet. But that's another topic for another day, Jay.
It is, man. It is. Yeah, people were asking Greg about the baby. Not happening yet. So hopefully soon.
Speaking of moving,
hey,
Chester,
go ahead.
Chester said moving is a pain, but I'm ready to if we want to get down there to Ohio and we can move him, let's do it. Let's do a big move, Chester. Hey, Rhino's dropping a challenge. Who's going to match his super chat? Appreciate it, Rhino.
Appreciate it, Rhino. I'll say this. Maybe we should throw this out there. You know, they do these things where you got to select the date of when the baby's going to come and everything. What's going to happen?
Baby pools, Jay.
What's going to happen first? Greg's baby or Jim Knowles announces he going to OU?
Well, I think Greg said the baby was due today, so I don't.
Correct. I'm just asking.
Well, I think Jim Knowles is making a decision, but I think we're going to hear by Wednesday. I can't wait to listen to the post game tonight and see what he says.
Same day, it'll be a sign.
Is Greg having a boy or girl? Knowles would be a great, cool first name for a boy. Knowles.
Oh, Knowles.
First name, Knowles.
Hey, don't put that on Greg. Come on now. Wife's going to have the decision in that too.
His guess is Knowles comes first.
Hey, yeah, great support for the channel. Thanks, Rhino. I got to say this too. Where is it? Mello. Mello's going to be dropping it. He'll be dropping 10 times that because he said last night he's dropping $1,000 if Knowles comes to Oklahoma. You
know what was funny is after Rhino and some others, after Mello called in, Jane, we kept talking about the Jim Knowles stuff. That guy left. I think he seriously was kind of worried. And Corrections is keeping us updated on Flight Tracker. Private jets are still on the ground. Thank you, Corrections. Appreciate it.
That's right. Famone, good to see you in here, bud.
Famone.
Good to see you. Go Vols. It's interesting to see how they look next year. A lot of changes, I know, but it's every team. A lot of people, a lot of changes, but you also got some similarities with who you got there. Nico back and other things. So they're going to have a good year. Way too early top 25. There it is right there. How many SEC teams are in there? I'm trying to add it up real quick. Is that 6? Am I missing? You got UT, Georgia, LSU, South Carolina. Wait.
Bama.
Is that Iowa State?
Yes.
Yeah. Bama,
looks like
Florida, Tennessee. 8 teams in the top 25. Wow.
Joe and Corrections might be able to help you on this in the Discord. And you're in there too, Joe. Randall Stevenson's private jet tel number. That's what we need here, guys.
Hey, let me say
I
this,
don't even know
Kyle.
how secretive it's going to be, guys.
And I got to say this. I got to say this real quick to Kyle. And he says it's a ridiculous amount of OSU fans that have said Jim Knowles doesn't have any history with Oklahoma in general. Yeah, obviously he coached Oklahoma State, but as far as with Oklahoma, it doesn't even matter. Like I've said this before. I don't know if he's coming to OU or not. I'm leaning towards he is, but the whole connection thing doesn't matter. It's all about other things for Jim Knowles. That's what it's about.
Correct. I agree, Jane. Plus, now he's done it at Ohio State. Might as well go somewhere else and do it again. Talon, here's my timeline. Tonight, they celebrate. Tomorrow, I'm sure Ohio State and Jim Knowles are going to have conversations. To me, he's going to talk to Ohio State. He's going to talk to OU. I do think the number's probably already been given, though. So I think heck, he may know tonight, but I think it's probably Wednesday.
Well, and you've heard
you find something out.
And you've heard the rumors about him possibly reaching out to OU first, if his agent or what. If that's the case,
I'm not sure that is.
Well, I'm just saying, if that's the case, they've already got the number. I mean, there's no. I would think this is going to happen pretty quick either way. Like
Correct.
you cannot tell me right now that he hasn't. I think he's already decided either way, don't you?
Yeah, I don't think tonight changed anything. I don't think the money thing. I mean, money can always change things depending on how much more. But again, if OU throws out a $3 million, I don't think Ohio State's going bigger than that.
No, and Randy says, can Knowles play on the O-line? He's not the first one to say this. And he's dead right with the O-line stuff as far as if OU next year wants to get to the 8 or 9 wins, the O-line's going to be really good. They are.
Okay, that's not a surprise.
What?
It's not a surprise. No, it does have to be.
It's not. They got to be really good.
Yeah.
They got to be a lot better.
Ohio State is your national champions this year. The best team is the championship team. Big time thanks to Rhino 26 for dropping that super. Yeah. We really appreciate you. And guys, I say this all the time. Jason says this all the time. Bear with me here. When I say that I appreciate everyone in this chat, I sincerely appreciate everyone in this chat. You can ask my wife. You can ask my sons.
Same for me.
They know some of your names as much as some of my family members. The names of my family members. That's how much I talk about this community. Okay? Every night at 9:30, we're on here for one reason and one reason only: to have community with our viewers. That is what we are here for. Solely.
With fans.
We like to give information. We like to hear from our fans. We like to say what's good, what's bad, what's ugly, but we always will do it with the viewers. And that's what we're never going to change from. And we want to say thank you so much. We appreciate you all.
That's right. Well said. Well said. You know what? A new national championship is crowned. Now it's off season officially begins tomorrow. So we'll see what happens with Oklahoma, DC, everything that goes forward. So looking forward to it. Hey, Rhino, thanks again. Super, super appreciative. Means a lot. Thanks everybody for joining us tonight. We will see everybody tomorrow, 9:30. Have a good Tuesday.
Thanks, Talon. Appreciate that compliment.